Hey, Shan here. Welcome back to brand new video. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create a beautiful search bar using HTML and CSS and a little bit JavaScript from scratch. Are you excited to build this project? I am too. Let's move on. So first of all, we need to create a new folder. Call it animated search bar or anything you want. And then add a HTML boilerplate. Title should be toggle search bar. Let's add a div with the class search, and inside the div we need to add an input element here with the class input. Type should be text, and also as a good practice I like to add a max length to 15, and then we have a placeholder search ... So after the input element we need to add a new element inside the search class, which is button, with the class btn, okay, and make sure it's inside the search class with the div class. Now let's check our code up to this point. I will go with the live server. So we successfully rendered the input and the button. It's time to add a CSS file. So let's add a new CSS file, styles.css. So initially for all HTML elements we need to box sizing border box. We don't want to do extra padding here. And for HTML we need to font size 62.5%. 62.5% means 10 pixel because by default the Chrome font size is 16 pixel. Okay, and our body should be margin 0. Font family should be Arial, Helvetica, Sans Serif, and our display should be flex. Overflow should be hidden. Height should be 100 ph for taking all height. Align item center, justify content center. Background image should be linear gradient. I would like to add a 45° here, so the color will be spread from the corner. So our first color should be Dodger blue, and second color should be something like pink color, so it will match better. And then we will transparent it like 0.8. Okay, so now let's work with the search bar. Search should be position relative and height should be 50 pixel. Then we need to target the input class, which is inside the search class. So for the input we need to width 50 pixel, height 50 pixel, and font size should be 18 pixel, padding should be 15 pixel, and our background color should be white, and outline should be 0 means none, and border should be 0 means none. Border radius should be 100% to make it circle, and cursor should be pointer. And now we need to target the button class. So position should be absolute, and top should be 0, left should be 0, cursor should be pointer, width should be 50 pixel, height should be 50 pixel, just like input that we have created earlier. Font weight should be 500 pixel, and background color should be tomato. Border radius should be 100%. So outline should be 0, border should be 0. So you see that the button and the input container are in the same place. The input is right behind the button. And we also need to change the color for the text of the button to white. Also change the font size to 18 pixel. So as a demo, let's add an active class manually. When a search is active, our button should be translate x 200 pixel. So translate x work with the horizontal space. So when a search is active, our input also should be width 250 pixel, okay, but radius 30 pixel. So let's remove the active class. After removing the active class, it's beautiful, it's work. So it's time to create this JavaScript file, okay? So strip.js and then add JavaScript file in the HTML. So now we need to take our button as a variable constant. So document.querySelector and our class should be button, okay? So make sure it's .button because our btn is the class. So we need to add a dot here before the btn. Also we need to take search as a variable. So const search equals document.querySelector and take the search class here. Also we need to take input as a variable. So to target the input class we need to type document.querySelector and then target this class .input. So we have 3 variables with the btn, search and input. So now let's work with JavaScript. So first of all, our button, when you click a button like btn, we need to add event listener click. So when you click it, we need to add a function here to handle this click, and inside this function we need to add a class list for search class, search.classlist.add, so we dynamically active this class, not manually. Also, our input should be focused, so it's automatically focused. So we need to add an input.focus function, which is a built-in JavaScript function. Okay, I made a mistake. There should be a toggle. Okay, fine, beautiful, it's work. Let's try again. So when you click this button, it will expand. Did you notice that there is no animation? It happens so suddenly. So let's go to styles.css and add an animation for input. So before transition, let's add a shadow for the input. So when the input is focused, so 0 for top, 0 for right, 5 pixels for down, 10 pixels for left. Okay, and then we need to add a box shadow color. I need to add some transparent black color. So you got a beautiful search bar. Now it's time to add a transition. So let's add a keyframe here because I wanted to use this in a different element. So our animation name should be search animation. So initially our opacity should be 0, box shadow should be 0, 10 pixel and 20 pixel. Okay, we need to zoom out a little bit, so transform scale 2.1. So in the last state of the animation, which is 100%, we have to opacity 1. Let's add this animation name, and animation duration should be 2 seconds. In animation timing function, any of the keyboard badges, I like to add this one. How many times we need to animate? I would like to say infinite. So we need to transition for box shadow 0.3 second is. Also we need to add a transition for width. The 0.3 second is. So our animation is working, but there's a problem. The input container is very bigger, but we don't want that. So let's remove this. So animation iteration count initial. So now it will stop. That's better. And opacity should be 1. So we need to add a transition of the button. So add a transition here. Okay, now it's work, but there's a problem. I see I have mistake box shadow with a hyphen. Okay, so save. So now it's working. Beautiful. So when I click this button, it will expand the input container and our animation stopped. But when I enter or click this go button again, our heartbeat animation started again. That's pretty much it. You can get these full resources in a GitHub repository. I have added this link in the description, so you can find there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.